Happy Friday, family. Happy Friday. So, I'm sorry about yesterday. Could not go live yesterday because I had no power. Storms, trees were knocked down, knocked our power lines out. There was like the whole neighborhood was out and thousands of other people. But anyway, we have power back. We got power back yesterday late afternoon. And then today I was going to go live, but y'all, I felt like complete dog poo. I'm not even going to lie. But um, Margaret had said in the mod chat, she's like, wait, what? And she put a link, and I was like, wait, what? And I clicked on it, and y'all, yeah, Darrell Brooks is back in front of Judge Doro today. This happened a while ago, and I watched part of it. And then when I was gonna go live earlier, I was supposed to go get blood work today for my thyroid and went out to leave to go get said blood work, and my van would not start. The battery was dead. Dead. Dead, dead, dead. So dead that husband couldn't even get it jumped. So I was like, okay, God, I'm taking this as a sign to stay home because our roads are flooding. Um, y'all, if it's flooding, stay your butts home. Somewhere in Kentucky, the little boy drowned on his way to the bus stop. I cannot believe it. I can't. I can't. But, um, hey, everyone. So I decided, I was like, okay, then I'm not going to go get my blood work. That's fine. I didn't have an appointment. It's just, I have a what do they call them? Pieces of paper where I almost said where the judge wants you to go and get your blood drawn, but the doctor. Anyway, so I told husband, I said, I'm going to go in here and go live for a little bit because we have got to watch this. We have got to watch Darrell Brooks. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, he's either missing some teeth or I think he's missing some teeth because he keeps his mouth covered the entire time. And it's been like sealed or whatever where he's at. Nobody's known where he's was moved to from Wisconsin. Well, Judge Doro's like, I don't care. He's in South Dakota. It's on the program. It's public knowledge. Oh well, sorry. She didn't care. She just doxed the crap out of him. But anyway, hey Donnie, good to see you. What the what? I know, right? It's me. It's me. I have electricity. He better get denied. I feel awful for his kid, and he shouldn't be allowed to traumatize either him or us ever again. Going pro se worked so well for him the last time, right, Sherry? Hi. Wait till you see this. Yes, and hi. Hi. I was stunned when you sent it to me. I was like, oh my God, really? And then I saw someone in the comment section over there on Law and Crime said something about Darrell Brooks now, and we had Taylor Shabusiness today too. So I went and looked. Was there something that happened with Taylor Shabusiness today that I completely missed? Asking for myself. Um, Drive and lurk away, man, but no typing while you're driving. No. Don't make me point my finger at you. Don't do that. Latanya, hey girl, watched earlier. Happy watching again in the cafe. Yay! Cafe. Mm-hmm. Donnie said, hi, family. I miss everyone. We miss you too. I miss everybody. Good afternoon, Miss King. I agree. God wanted me to stay home. Yep. Hold on a minute. Y'all better be glad I muted myself because I just said, Alexa, cancel. Because it's 5:55, 5:56 now. But at 5:55 every day, she starts playing some random heavy metal playlist. It ain't mine. I don't listen to heavy metal. My husband does. But he says he didn't set it, so I don't know. Crazy, right? Crazy. It's an order. That's it. A lab order. And you don't have to fast for thyroid now. Mm-mm. Nope. You were thinking the teeth thing too? Yeah. It's the only reason I can drink water because he literally holds his mouth like this the whole time. He is. People were saying most of them are gone. It looked like he had a whole bottom row, but I don't know about the top. So he's apparently plagued to death to let the public. So what are you going to do, son, when you're sitting there representing yourself? Sit there like this with your mouth grounds, subject matter jurisdiction, grounds. Is that lawful law? Grounds. Really? Is that what we're going to do? It was somebody probably punched him in the mouth. He wants to represent himself again. He wants to represent himself again. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. So she was today? Did we see it? She tried to attack her lawyer again. It was all of 1 to 2 minutes. Oh my God. She was conducting her business. Oh, that's so funny. Taylor is a whole mess. She is a whole mess. And you know what's really sad? I said this the other day too. She was a pretty girl. I don't know. She's a pretty girl. It's sad, you know? She's crazy. And I'm going to say that, like, I feel like she should probably have a mental crazy something. I don't know. Yeah, no. What does he have to lose? Fast and hilarious. Okay, well, we'll have to watch it when we get done with this. Somebody remind me because I'll forget, though. Hey, Sherry. She belongs in a criminal asylum. You know, she's not getting any mental health there, right? Mm-mm. That trial was horrifying. She was crazy, man. Okay, drive again. No typing while driving. Miss King says, I think he just wants a little bit of freedom he gets when working on his own case. I would believe that. I can believe that. But if he wants, not that it wouldn't matter who was representing him. If it was the best lawyer in the entire world, he's still not going to win if he gets another trial. I don't even know what he's wanting to appeal on. What is his appeal? What's he trying to appeal for? Like, Chanel looks like that creepy woman from that horror movie. Don't know the name of it. I know what you're talking about. She looked like that then too when her hair was all down in front of her face. I don't remember what the name of it was though. What was the name of that movie? Everybody said she looked like her then too. I forget the name of it though. Yeah, I like Daybell. Ugh. The Ring. Okay, there you go. Yep, that's it. Uh, so did Letitia Stalk though. Her and Letitia both gave me those vibes. Ugh. Margaret says, "Well, I'm sure it wasn't a Hallmark movie." No, it was not. It was not. Yeah, they both did. I know. God. Ugh. They both give me the creeps. Akasha says that's what I want to know because he was Rose, so he has nothing to appeal on. He was what? Oh, pro se. Is that what you mean? You guys say a prayer for kiddo. It is Friday. She started school on Monday. She's been fine all week, but now today she comes home from school and she's got a little bit of a cough. Now, could it be allergies? Yes, probably is. But also, mm-mm, mm-mm. I ain't having it. Not doing that again. My nerves are shot over that situation. Hey, Rosebud. Hello. Was Darrell on today? I think she's the judge that gets to decide whether he goes pro se for his appeal. Isn't that ironic? Yeah, that's what we're getting ready to watch, Rosebud. His motions, his hearing was today in front of Judge Doro. So we're going to watch it. It's only about an hour ish long. Yeah. So, oh, I'm glad you're voice texting. That makes me happy. All right. So here we go. Now, uh, what is Margaret saying? The last horror movie I watched was one of the Chucky movies, and it was by accident, and I've never watched one again. That and the Pennywise one, I start screaming when I see pictures of them. Yeah. I don't like horror movies. I don't like that. I don't like especially like that kind of stuff, Chucky, Pennywise, Friday the 13th, Jason, Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't like none of those. I don't like any of those kind of movies. I think because they're like fiction. They're you know what I'm saying? Now, scary movies that are stuff that could really potentially happen. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. You know, real deal kind of stuff. Christine from Stephen King ruined me for life. You know, whenever I was little, I watched Pet Cemetery. My mom had no idea I was watching that, and that scared the bejeezers out of me. Tracy said, I hope it's nothing. We're on the last day of spring break and was supposed to be going on a short trip for the weekend, but I'm laying on my couch, bored. I'm sorry. Oh. Someone sent me a Chucky picture and I went, Taylor's your business on the uh yeah. Uh. No, you didn't miss well, I mean you missed the live. the actual live stream, but we're going to watch it together here in just a moment. By the way, Zach, the attorney from the original trial, has been elected judge here in Waukesha. Yay! Good job, Zach. Michelle, I don't know where Michelle's at, but Michelle would be all over that because Michelle loves her some Zach. He's there on the stream down on the bottom left-hand corner. Akasha said the last ones I watched were the Terrifier movies. Don't watch them. They're a lot. Yeah, I can't. You don't do horror movies either. Nope. Or roller coasters? No, thank you. I could do roller coasters when I was younger, but now, no, thank you. No, I'm smart now. Give me Three Stooges any day, right? Same. Baking challenges. Yes. Same judge with the great hair, it looks like. Yes, it is. It's Jennifer Darrow. I love her so much. Wrong turn by myself, and that was a big mistake. Oof. Ooh, okay. All right. We're going to get started. So it looks like on the bottom right-hand corner, we have the attorney that has been representing Darrell Brooks. And then on the left bottom corner, we have Zach with Chow. And then I forget the chick's name. What's her name, Rosebud? Oh, shoot. It's not Sue Opper. It's... I forget her name. Shoot. What's her name? And then at the top left-hand corner is Judge Darrow. I call her Judge Saint. She is a saint. I'll tell you that. Basie. Leslie Basie. That's it. Leslie Basie. Morgana's in timeout. Hey, Morgana. And then the top right-hand corner is a blank screen, but Darrell Brooks will be there soon. So, all right. Judge Saint, right? That is a good name for her. Morgana is in timeout then. All right. Here we go. Let's go.
Is it your understanding that Mr. Brooks would still like you to pursue this motion?
Yes, Judge.
All right. And Mr. Brooks, could you also confirm that for me, that you are seeking Attorney Covey to be relieved as your attorney of record for your appeal?
Yes.
Look at him.
For purposes...
Wait, look. Hold on. Look. Oh, shoot. Where did it go? Look. He's sitting there. I am assuming he's in his cell. I don't know where he is, but he's got his mouth covered. And look at the boxes, you guys. He's got a box fort. Again. He has a box fort. Morgana loves scary movies. She does like scary movies. Margaret is good. Watch all of them at home tonight, alone, with the lights off. He's in there with the trash, as it should be. Love it. Love that, Morgana, as it should be. There you go. Morgana threw some serious shade in there just now. Leslie Basie is now the district attorney. It does look like he's in a broom closet, right? He thinks he can do his own appeal. He wants to stay in jail. Appeals aren't easy, none of it is, but no way he will win any appeal. Absolutely not. Rosebud said, I think he did this on purpose because he's infatuated with that judge. She was the last one that ever gave him any attention. Oof. So how will it work? If he does win an appeal, does she have to be the same one, or would it have to be another judge? Because I thought she retired. I thought she retired to work in like the family business, family practice or something. Oh, I don't remember, Akasha. I don't think so. I don't think so. Morgana says, no, Margaret, I'm going to be watching the nightmare storms heading my way again. Yep. The flood waters are a-coming, I'll tell you that. Thank goodness we don't live in a low zone, but still, I mean, my road right now at the end of my driveway is like washing my gravel out. Appeals go to someone else, I believe. Well, I don't know. I don't know how that works for sure. She's not retired. She's still presiding mostly in family law. He will have to go up against 3 appellate judges if he's awarded pro se. Okay. I would think it would have to be an appellate judge because it goes to appellate court. Okay. It's flooding here and had tornadoes Wednesday night. I'm so over it. Yeah, we did too. That's why I wasn't online yesterday, because our power got knocked out, Tracy. We had trees down and across power lines. So, fun, fun. Fun, fun. I'd like to see him argue against 3 grounds. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Okay, here we go. We're going to get back to it.
Issues, Attorney Covey?
Yes, Judge.
All right.
He's absolutely indigent.
He's in custody. He's serving consecutive life sentences. He's indigent, and initially, even when he was the accused, was eligible for public defender representation. And do you have any information, Attorney Covey, that would suggest otherwise?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. Then let me start with some questions. What I intend to do is I want to make a record of a number of things related to the inquiry that this court must make under the law. I think it's important to start with directing the questions to counsel, because as of right now, you do represent Mr. Brooks, and then I intend to address some questions to Mr. Brooks as well. Attorney Covey, have you received and have you reviewed the February 26, 2025 letter from the State Public Defender's Office?
Yes, I have.
Were you aware or have any knowledge of whether that letter was received by Mr. Brooks?
It's my belief that it was sent to Mr. Brooks and that he has received it. I haven't confirmed that with them personally, though.
All right, I intend to do that in short order. Is it true, Attorney Covey, that you were appointed for the purposes of investigating and pursuing potentially an appeal for Mr. Brooks on January 6th of 2023?
Yes, Judge. I was appointed for post-conviction and/or appellate relief.
Thank you. And what have you reviewed in your work on this case thus far?
Judge, I have spent probably hundreds of hours. I know this past summer, the vast majority of the summer, my free time was spent reviewing this case, including all of the transcripts, the entire court record, the vast majority of the discovery, I'll make a record of that. There's certainly, when we get provided with lots of audio, video evidence, not all of it is directly relevant to the offense. If, for example, if there's a squad video that's just pointing against a wall, I'm not going to spend hours reviewing that. But the key evidence, the interviews, the court exhibits, I definitely reviewed all of that discovery as well. That we have about 5 banker's boxes of materials that I have gone through, including the prior attorney's notes before Mr. Brooks went pro se.
Have you met with Mr. Brooks either in person, by phone, or in any other way?
Judge, I have, and of course I can't talk about the substance of that, but I have met with them in person several times, plus numerous phone conferences as well. I haven't counted, but a large number of contacts.
Have you had written communication with him as well?
Judge, I'll write him letters. Mr. Brooks and I would generally communicate via the telephone, mostly telephone and in person.
Have you sought a number of extensions from the Court of Appeals related to the timing of filing any post-conviction motion or direct appeal?
Judge, I have basically 2 groups of extensions, if I may explain. The file is huge. And so it definitely took me longer than normal to review the contents of this case. And so the first few extensions were just to get me through the summertime where I was able to review all those banker's boxes of materials. The second set of extensions were filed so that Mr. Brooks, after him and I had fully consulted each other, would have time to decide how to proceed. I know one of my more recent extensions was to give Mr. Brooks the opportunity to try to hire a different attorney if his family was able to do so. That's part of the public record, of course. So those are the 2 groups of extensions that I filed over the course of the last year and a half.
Do you know how many?
The most recent extension was the 7th motion to extend time. That was to give, I'm sorry, my apologies.
The record shows that on
I think there was
February 14th, the 8th motion to extend was filed with the Court of Appeals. Would that seem accurate?
Yeah, I misspoke. It's the 8th motion to give Mr. Brooks time to litigate his case. In the event that I withdraw, he'd have a couple of extra months to review the file and to do his own research.
Again, I understand that you can't discuss confidential communications with Mr. Brooks as his attorney, but generally speaking, have you identified issues to pursue on appeal?
Judge, I can say this. There were several very specific issues that I spent an enormous amount of time researching for appeal. As to whether or not they were viable post-conviction or appellate issues, I'm not able to say without breaking privilege.
Have you sent Mr. Brooks any drafts of pleadings related to any appellate or post-conviction issues?
Judge, since I haven't filed an actual appellate brief, we haven't done the notice of intent to appeal, nor an actual post-conviction motion, there wouldn't be any pleadings for me to send him. So we're at the point, if I may, give a little bit more elaboration. Usually it's a 2-step process for post-conviction relief. The first part's actually the longest. It's assembling the court materials. I know the court reporter worked exceptionally hard to get me those materials, but that took a few months. Going through those materials, identifying issues that could provide post-conviction relief. In some instances, there are no grounds for post-conviction relief, and then there's a different set of options that I would go through with the client. So after going through all of those steps, I did have multiple contacts with Mr. Brooks, both in person and over the telephone, for him to decide how he wants to proceed. I'm not able, even if hypothetically I found 5 amazing viable grounds for post-conviction relief or appeal, I wouldn't be able to submit any post-conviction motion or notice of appeal without the consent of Mr. Brooks. If I found no grounds for post-conviction relief, then again, Mr. Brooks would have a set of options that I would have to go over with him. And I can say that we have gone through that process, and he has requested to proceed pro se, which would prohibit me from filing any further pleadings in this matter. I hope that clarifies the issue.
Well, it helps because my responsibilities ultimately, when discussing with Mr. Brooks, is to talk about the options. One option could be a no merit situation. So I generally just want to know if all options have been discussed with him at this point.
Absolutely, Judge. That I can say 100% certainty. And multiple times.
Is it your understanding that Mr. Brooks wants to proceed pro se or on his own, or as he sometimes referred to it as in pro person, I think was the phrase he used with some frequency?
Judge, he does want to represent himself moving forward.
Have you discussed with Mr. Brooks your background as an attorney and doing appellate work?
Judge, I don't, it's such it's a innocuous question. There's no issue with me answering it, but I'm afraid that if I were to go into any discussions.
Let me ask it this way.
Yeah.
So I would like Mr. Brooks, and I'd like, actually, let me state it this way. I would like the record to reflect your experience for purposes of my decision here today. So I'll just ask you some general questions. They would not in any way violate any type of attorney-client privilege. First of all, how are you a licensed attorney in the state of Wisconsin?
I hope so. Also, I'm in a lot of trouble today. Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been so licensed?
Approximately 20 years, actually 22 years, I believe.
Do you hold licenses in any other states or have permission to appear in any other courts outside the circuit courts, appellate courts, and Supreme Court in the state of Wisconsin?
Judge, I did take and pass the Illinois State Bar, and I was part of that community for a few years. I let that lapse because I have solely practiced in Wisconsin.
What about federal courts?
Judge, I was trained to do some federal courts, and I was actually accepted to be an attorney in the Western District. Then COVID struck, and the caseload for the states became so extreme for lack of public defender appointments that I never ended up practicing in federal courts.
Do you have any area that you focus on in your practice?
Judge, I focus mostly on homicides and sexual assaults, if I may. The state public defender's office, let me backtrack. I'm not a public defender. I'm a full-time criminal defense attorney. For most of the last 20 years, I had my own practice. Recently, I joined Corey Chiropisi for his law firm, CHIRAFISI. For most of the last 10 years or so, I have been practicing mostly homicides, class A, B, and C felonies.
Give me 1 second. Mr.
Sure.
Brooks, would you please direct the camera up? Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Judge, the State Public Defender's Office has certifications to take certain levels of felonies. The highest level of certification is class A felony, and I'm certified to do those in both the appellate and the trial court level. Approximately 20% of my work is with appellate work. I'm in trial more often as with the circuit courts.
In your litigation practice, both in the circuit courts and appellate courts, that's both through appointments and individuals who would privately retain you?
Absolutely. I have the highest level of certifications the Public Defender's Office can give.
Thank you. Have you had any general discussions with Mr. Brooks related to appellate rules and procedures, whether it be formatting, initial briefs, what uh, response briefs are, the requirement for reply briefs, or even the difference between that and a post-conviction motion.
Judge, let me just say this again. I've certainly had lots of conversation with I've spent hours with Mr. Brooks in person and over the telephone. I'm going to speak in very, very general terms. The vast majority of those conversations have to do with the substance of the case itself, the issues that I was researching on this case, and there were some very specific issues, which I'm declining to say now for privilege reasons, but that I was researching on this case, going over the case law, meeting with them to discuss lots of different issues. Certainly as part of that, I would have, with every one of my appellate clients, I would have conversations about basic appellate procedures, such as the difference between a post-conviction motion and going straight to the Court of Appeals and why that would occur. That is, as to the details of drafting a brief, rules of citation, the fonts and procedures that you have to do to submit an appellate brief. I, of course, have not had those types of conversations because it was my intent that if there was an appellate issue, I would be drafting that brief. I can say this, and I'm happy to do this to allay the court's concerns. Certainly, it's my intention to send Mr. Brooks a copy of the rules of appellate procedure for Wisconsin. We'll make sure he gets that. Additionally, in my experience of doing this for a long time, though the Court of Appeals will still hold pro se defendants to the letter of the law and the substance of the case,
Hey,
they won't
Gail.
give
Hey,
the pro se
Brenda.
defendants any breaks on the substance. If there is an issue with page numbers or citations for a handwritten brief that would be submitted by a prison facility, I've never seen an issue where the Court of Appeals has objected to that. They're a little bit more lenient on those issues for obvious reasons.
Thank you. That was I don't want to say a concern, but a question I had, and that's good to hear. So thank you. Is there anything else you want me to consider in light of the motion that you filed with the court?
Just that I'm not, even if I was allowed to withdraw it today, I'm not going to close the file until Mr. Brooks has the entire file. I was speaking with our paralegal staff just yesterday, going through multiple bankers boxes of materials. The facility where he's being kept at right now will not accept those materials. It's just too much for them to take in. However, if we scan them, download them, and put things on hard drives, multi-gigabyte hard drives, we can send those out. So it will be a very lengthy, time-consuming process for us to do so, but I'll make sure Mr. Brooks gets those materials with one caveat. Because of the time and expense to do that, we wouldn't be making multiple copies. So if something were to occur where Mr. Brooks would want another full set of materials, perhaps 8 months from now, it would be challenging for my firm to comply with that request.
So let me make sure I understand this. The prison facility at which Mr. Brooks is currently serving his sentences will not accept the volume of material that you.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. She getting ready to dox the crap out of him. You guys. This is where she's like, she basically asks him, asks Darrell Brooks. And he's like, I would rather not say where I'm at. And then she just proceeds to tell everybody where he's at. Uh-oh. Hey, Tony, good to see you. Good evening. I'm glad that you caught alive. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Wednesday was hairy. As I was ending the stream, my internet went kaput. Like, out. Out. and I couldn't get in to end the stream, and I think it went on for like another 5 or 10 minutes with nothing. Internet guys came out, they fixed the internet, and then lo and behold, that night we had tornadoes blow through, trees knocked down. Everything's good here. There wasn't an actual tornado, to my knowledge, that came through my area, but we were under tornado warnings. So we were, under the stairs. And, but there was some, like, trees down on power lines and stuff. So we were without power, the rest of the night. And then most of the next day. So I wasn't able to go live yesterday. Right, that's what she said. It is public knowledge. It wasn't for a while. I think after he was transferred, it was kind of not public knowledge for a little bit. And apparently, as of recently, it became public knowledge. And that's what she basically said. She's like, well, I mean, it's on the court docket website information stuff, so it is what it is. It's storming there now, Gail. It's been storming here off and on all day. Yeah. Well, just be safe. Just be safe. We're under, I think right now the only thing we're under is like flood watches, but that could change I think tonight. And tomorrow it's supposed to get pretty bad again, so. Thank you, spring. All right, here we go.
You have in paper or even standalone electronic other than on an external hard drive?
If we sent them disk and flash drives, I'm very confident the prison would accept that. But they made it clear to our office, and it was their staff speaking with my staff, that they would not accept, if I were to ship 5 bankers boxes of materials, they would not accept that. But if we put those materials on computer electronics, then they would have a place where they could store it safely and easily, where Mr. Brooks could access it in their library.
It is not a secret that Mr. Brooks is no longer being held in Wisconsin. If he were in Wisconsin, would you have had better access to him in terms of going to the facility, even with your own computer, and as his attorney showing him discovery if need be?
So I was able to visit Mr. Brooks at the Dodge Correctional Institution, and additionally at the Wisconsin Secure Program facility in Boscoville. The prison facilities made it very easy for me to do the visits. I was able to bring my case files. I wouldn't have brought that volume of materials to a meeting anyways, had I desired to go through any piece of audio video evidence. There would have been a mechanism for me to do so in Wisconsin. If hypothetically, if I were to remain his attorney,
they did. They shipped him out.
I am able to have telephone and Zoom conversations with my clients. It would be a little bit more onerous for me to do in-person visits.
If you were able to do Zoom, you obviously can share screen, even information from your computer.
If that's what we wanted to do.
Do you know what, if any, materials Mr. Brooks was able to take with him from his trial to the facility where he is at?
Mr. Brooks might be able to answer this better than I will, but it's my understanding that somehow along the way, when he was transferred out of state, he no longer has those trial materials. So we would be working to give him a complete set of what we have.
Well, then I'd like to know what he's got in all them boxes he's got hoarded up there on the side of him. If you don't have all of that stuff, then what is all that there in them boxes? Fan mail? I don't know what it is. He's hiding his face allegedly because it looks like he's got some missing teeth. Mm-hmm. Looks like he's got some missing teeth. But that's just, I noticed all of his bottom teeth were there because he moves his hand in off and on, and I could see, he had bottom teeth, but I don't know about the top ones. But I don't know why else he would be hiding his face like that. Latanya, where are you? Same weather and patterns. I'm in. Oh, St. Louis Metro. Okay. Well, I like to tell people that I live in the little box that you're watching me from. I do. That's where I live. I live in that little box that you're watching me from. I'm just a figment of your imagination. Rosebud, apparently he had his teeth knocked out or something. I missed the story on that when I joined the live. Yeah. I'm just assuming. Maybe he really is in the trash closet. Yeah, I don't know where he's at. I mean, I wouldn't think, I thought maybe it was his cell, but yeah, when you look at it, there's like, I don't think so. It looks like most of his uppers are gone. Fine, it's just my theory that he got punched in the mouth because he wouldn't shut up, and that's why he's got no teeth. We don't know for sure. He doesn't look very well. Wait, when did you change your name? When did you change your name from Donnie Not Wahlberg to Donnie Not Osmond? I just noticed that. When did you do that? Cute. Yeah, that's not his cell. I agree, Latanya. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't think it is either. I don't know what it is, though. Gail says, Latanya, I'm about 45 minutes from you. Tony says, I don't think that's his cell, just a room for him to zoom from court, for the court. It looks like there is something wrong with his mouth or something. Yeah. He keeps his hand over it. I'm just assuming it's because he has teeth gone. He did have, yes. He did have teeth during the trial. Yep. Tony, he probably got beaten up, but the word on the curb is, and I think it's been confirmed that he was actually SA'd. So yeah. So like in St. Joseph County, our judge always is on live, and when they have to zoom in from the jail, they're in just like a room. They always bring them into the same room. Okay. I've seen that before, but never nothing like that with a bunch of boxes beside of them and stuff. I think that's probably why I just assumed it was a cell at first because of all the boxes. But because we're used to seeing him with a bunch of boxes surrounding him. Okay, here we go.
And that would also include downloading all the materials from the e-file and putting that on a separate flash drive as well.
But you're willing to do all of that?
Yes, we will get extra funding from the public defender's office to get extra paralegal support to do that.
And they're willing to do that as part of the case closure, should this motion be granted?
I have not put in that request yet, but I am certain they'd be willing to do it They've done it before on other cases that were also very serious cases. I'm sure I can get the funding.
All right, thank you.
And frankly, if we didn't get the funding, we would do it anyways.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Mr. Brooks, I'd like to ask you some questions. First of all, are you aware that Attorney Covey has filed a motion to withdraw as your appellate counsel?
Yes.
And just as a reminder, even though I tried my best to talk to you at my cameras, when I want to watch you for your response, I look slightly down and to the right, or even to one of the other monitors that I can look at. So I just want you to be aware that when I do that, I'm actually paying attention to you. Any questions about that, sir?
No.
All right. Do you want to have Attorney Covey withdraw and act as your own attorney, sir?
At this time, yes.
The Public Defender's Office sent to this court a letter dated February 26th of 2025. It is front and back. I think the actual filing had some additional information on the third page, but that had more to do with who was copied on the letter versus the crux of the letter. But did you receive a copy of that, sir?
From what was the date?
February 26th of 2025.
I don't believe I received that.
Mr. Brooks, would it be helpful if at this point I switch to a single camera when I'm talking directly with you instead of having the multi-camera view?
I can see you just fine.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to read the letter into the record, sir. It's important. It is from Kelsey Loshaw, the Regional Attorney Manager from the Madison Appellate Office. Does that ring a bell at all?
I think from previous letters it might, yeah.
Well, this one is specific because it was filed after the motion to withdraw was filed, and there's a requirement in Wisconsin Statute 809.30 that the Public Defender's Office advised the court of certain information. Does that help ring a bell, sir?
No.
All right, then bear with me. I will read the letter. It says, "Dear Clerk, in accordance with Wisconsin Statute Rule Section 809.30 sub 4 sub B, I'm writing in response to the motion to withdraw filed by the SPD appointed appellate attorney Michael Covey. The rule requires the SPD to determine whether successor counsel will be appointed and notify the court of the determination. I ask that you pass this on to the judge assigned to the case because the judge is required by Rule 809.30 sub 4 sub C to consider the SPD's response prior to ruling on the motion. The state public defender informs the court
Be safe,
and Mr.
Margaret.
Brooks.
Be safe, Margaret, and hey, Ween baby. Hey, Ween baby. What a clown, right? What a clown.
If the motion to withdraw Mr. Brooks directed Attorney Covey to file is granted, Mr. Brooks will be waiving his right to public defender representation, and no new or successor public defender attorney will be appointed. Sir, have you heard what I just read to you?
Yes.
Are you aware of the risk you take as it relates to to a public defender appointed appellate attorney if this court grants the motion to withdraw?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about that?
No.
The letter goes on, an indigent person's right to an appointed attorney for appeal does not encompass a right to an attorney of choice or to successive appointments. State v. Evans, 2004, Wisconsin 84, 273, Wisconsin 2nd 192, paragraph 30. If a defendant decides he no longer wants to be represented by an appointed attorney, he has the choice of terminating counsel's representation and proceeding pro se or with retained counsel. Id at paragraph 31. If a defendant elects to discharge his appointed attorney and proceed pro se, the defendant must be provided clear warnings regarding the dangers of self-representation before appellate counsel may withdraw. Id. Sir, did you hear me read the second paragraph of this letter?
Yes.
Do you understand it?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me regarding that?
No.
The letter goes on to provide the legal framework for the court's responsibility in determining whether a defendant validly waives counsel on appeal. And I'm going to read that paragraph. It is a direct quote from a case, State v. Thornton, 2002, Wisconsin Appellate 294, also found at 259, Wisconsin 2nd 157. For your information, State versus Thornton is a Court of Appeals case.
Wait, baby, get out of my head. Look what I just asked you right before you posted that. Ma'am. I want to say pinch poke, you owe me a Coke. Kind of. But yeah, well, I have not seen it. I heard she was back in court today, but I want to watch it. So I'm definitely going to, when this is done, I'm going to go locate that stream and we're going to watch it too because hi Lindsay Hendricks. Lindsay said, I swear it sounded like Shabizna shouted WrestleMania before trying to hit her attorney with the people's elbow. What in the world? She barely moved and they had her tackled. I gotta watch it. I cannot wait. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man. She's cuckoo cachoo. Cuckoo cachoo. Now I'm gonna be WrestleMania. I can't. Do you know, we always say, wonder what would happen if we put, I don't know, Darrell Brooks in a jail cell with Lori Valade Bell or something like that. I'm telling you what, I think Ted Bundy would have been terrified of Taylor Shabizz. I mean, I'm just saying, I think he would have been terrified of that heifer. He would have been begging to have been let out away from her. She's cray. They took her down. Oh my God. Yeah, we were talking about Letitia Stout and Taylor Shabizz looking like the chick from that movie, The Ring. They both do. Or Letitia Stout with a monster can versus Taylor Shabizz. Oh my God. Cautious said no one really knows what she said, but I can't be mad at it. I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's get through this because I want to watch it. We'll get through this, and as soon as this is done, we will. This has got about 35 more minutes. When this is done, we'll watch it, and all of you will be rewatching it because I have not seen it yet. It did. It sounded like WrestleMania. Okay, here we go. Let's do it.
that dealt with an issue for the first time in Wisconsin in a decision dealing with the court's responsibilities in determining the waiver by a defendant of counsel on appeal. And in that particular case, and this paragraph starts out by giving a little statement about the state's summary of the issues. The state offers the following synthesis of the foregoing decisions. Before a court may conclude that a criminal defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his or her right to counsel on direct appeal, it must satisfy itself that the defendant is aware, one, of the Flores rights, parenthesis, to an appeal, to the assistance of counsel for the appeal, and to opt for a no merit report, parenthesis, two, of the dangers and disadvantages of proceeding pro se, and three, of the possibility that if appointed counsel is permitted to withdraw, successor counsel may not be appointed to represent the defendant in the appeal. The court went on, we agree with the state that ensuring a defendant has received and understands the listed information is both necessary and sufficient to support a determination that the defendant tendered waiver of counsel is knowing and voluntary. In that particular case, the issue or the procedural posture was that the appeal was already pending. And so the Court of Appeals had some further things to say about the communication with the defendant being written. That's not applicable here. I'm having a over Zoom face-to-face discussion with you, but this is the framework that will guide the questions that I ask. Do you understand that, sir?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that case law as well.
Thank you. Any questions for me thus far?
He kills
All right.
me.
So I just want to confirm, sir, did you ask Attorney Covey to withdraw?
Yes,
Did he send you a copy of the motion to withdraw?
yes,
Have you reviewed it?
yes,
Do you have any questions about it?
no,
Do you take any issue or claim made by Attorney Covey in dispute?
no,
Did you at any point in time tell Attorney Covey you're fired?
no.
All right.
Judge, if I could just clarify something. The conversations I've had with Mr. Brooks in every instance, they were quite respectful. There was no arguments. So when Mr. Brooks would ask me, when he asked me to withdraw, it was in a polite, respectful way as opposed to a "you're fired, get out."
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that clarification. I still wanted to ask from
Sure.
his perspective. All right. Any dispute with what Attorney Covey just said, Mr. Brooks?
None whatsoever.
All right. Why do you want Attorney Covey to withdraw?
Judge, if I may, Mr. Brooks, this question could call into some privileged information. You have every right to answer the question. You and I have had lengthy conversations about the substance of particular issues that I have looked at and my conclusions on those issues. I don't think it would be to your advantage to go in that direction. You can definitely answer the judge's questions, but I would just be guarded as to going to the substance of any legal research that I may have done, that I did do. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I appreciate that. I can ask it in a more general way. Mr. Brooks, again, understanding the caveat that your attorney has given you, how would you characterize in general terms the reason you want to proceed pro se? Is it a strategy disagreement, or do you simply just want to represent yourself pro se?
I just want to represent myself.
So let me ask you some real specific questions then about some access to research materials and other things. I believe these questions go to your understanding of the difficulties and disadvantages as a pro se appellate
Oh, thanks,
litigant.
Lindsay. Thank you.
Most of the time, well, if you file in the Court of Appeals, it is a written process that may or may not include appellate arguments in front of the court. Do you understand that?
Briefly, I understand the outline of what you're saying. Yeah.
So you're prepared to follow the rules and procedure of appellate procedure and submit written submissions, whether it be to the trial court or to the appellate court related to your post-conviction and appellate rights.
Yes.
Do you have, or what access do you have to legal research at the institution at which you are currently serving your sentences?
Honestly, not very much. It's very different. So it would take some time, and maybe a few conversations can be had in that area, but I mean, I don't know if that answers your question.
You've answered it. Thank you. Do you understand that could lead to further delays in your appeal or post-conviction motion?
Yeah, I do understand that. I kind of anticipate that with where I'm housed. Is like I said, it's a lot different. Things are done totally different here. So I'm aware that could.
I agree, Brenda. He does look like he's sucking his thumb, like the big old baby that he is. Rosebud, you're welcome. I know that it's personal for you, obviously, this whole Waukesha situation, you know. Um, but honestly, I'm here for anything Darrell Brooks. I'm not going to, any and every little thing that he can have come his way, I want to watch it. He deserves it. He doesn't deserve an appeal. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he deserves to be portrayed as the fool that he is. And thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Great way to end a week. No, you're a doll, Rosebud. You're a doll. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here, let me give you some sparkle for that. Very sweet. Very sweet. Hold on. Let me go back to this. Okay. I've got the Taylor Shabusiness thing pulled up, so we'll watch that when we're done with this here momentarily. And I'm getting sidetracked by all the other little things that I'm seeing. There's something else that popped up that I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And now I don't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, I do. I remember what I was going to say. You guys remember that story I was telling you about the other day? The woman from North Carolina, I think, that murdered her Green Beret husband? Y'all. Apparently, she, trigger warning, dismembered that man before she threw him in that water. And he has a girlfriend. And allegedly, he was going to serve her with divorce papers and told her he wanted a divorce the day before it all happened. I mean, what? The person that found his remains in the pond said that they found a torso. Oh, right, Donnie? when I read that, the first thing I said was, dang, don't cross that woman. I mean, I thought Lorena Bobbitt was bad. Shoot. Ugh. Akasha said, I mean, it's not surprising because how else is she going to throw him in the river? Well, I mean, not that I ever would, but if I was going to throw somebody in a river, I'd throw them in a hole. I wouldn't have it in me to not only unalive them, but then also unmember them. I could, no way. Oh my God. I need to know if a girlfriend was younger than the wife. That's important. I don't know. I've seen pictures. She don't look like extremely younger, but maybe some. I don't know, Donnie. I mean, from what I read, it said that she had dismembered him. So, but I'm, I mean, that's a good question. But I want to get into that. I want to look at that. Lori Vallow starts on Monday, you guys. Unmember them. That sounds wrong. Yeah, I know. That sounds Lorena Bobbitt, right? But I meant like arms and legs and heads and stuff. I mean, that's some Taylor Shabusiness stuff and some Laura. I don't know that she. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna stop because I can't. But I got to know more about this situation. Miss King said, I was watching her interrogation. She thought she had it all together. It seems like he was a good person. I think she was not younger than the wife. Okay. Akasha said, well, Gen X age very well, so it may be hard to tell. Akasha said, also digging holes is real hard. What is the name of that case? I don't know. Let me go back over here and look. You should just be able to go and look up North Carolina wife murders Green Beret because he's in the service and he's a Green Beret. But y'all, that's nuts. I can't. That's freaky, man. Freaky. And Rachel Morin, the Rachel Morin's trial is getting ready to start too. God, so much stuff happening. So much stuff. Lord, 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 Lord. Okay, all right. We're going to get back to it. But yeah, I got completely sidetracked while looking for the Taylor Shabusiness thing. I found the Taylor Shabusiness, but then I couldn't quit scrolling. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Pose some issues.
You don't dispute that you're no longer in Wisconsin serving your sentences, correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
You agree, I earlier said you're no longer in Wisconsin serving your sentences. That's true?
I would rather not say.
Judge, I can verify that he is no longer in Wisconsin. The Department of
Here he
Corrections
goes.
had requested me personally.
He says, I would rather not say. In case you weren't listening, let me rewind that back. Here we go. I was also trying to read Akasha's comment.
A lot different. Things are done totally different here. So I'm aware that could pose some issues.
You don't dispute that you're no longer in Wisconsin serving your sentences, correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
You agree, I earlier said you're no longer in Wisconsin serving your sentences. That's true?
I would rather not say. Or
Judge, I can verify that he is no longer in Wisconsin. The Department of Corrections had requested me personally not to disclose his location. Of course, it's up to the court. I'm sure at some point it's going to get out, but I just had a
Let
conversation.
me answer that for a second, because we
Sure.
can take a brief segue.
Sure.
I am treating Mr. Brooks no differently than I would treat any individual who's serving a sentence in the state of Wisconsin. I repeatedly asked the Department of Corrections for information where he was at. I am a separate but equal branch of government, and they thwarted my efforts. I was only told he's in South Dakota and given email addresses for individuals that we could have contact. I need to be able, as the court, to send communication.
What's in Maryland, Ween baby? What are you saying no cameras in Maryland for? Miss King says, I've watched so many things. It was not her interrogation. It was Grizzly that talked about it. Okay. Okay.
To him directly. That would be no different for any other inmate in the state of Wisconsin, whether they have
okay.
an attorney or
Okay.
not. So today I directed my clerk to send an email to South Dakota and ask them for the information. It was provided and it is on CCAP. I have received no requests to seal an address. I have received no legal authority from anyone.
Gotcha.
And no request. And so I'm treating Mr. Brooks the same that I would treat any individual, and that information is now on CCAP.
Thank you, Judge.
So Darrell Brooks is like, so Judge. Gotcha. Rachel Morin's in Maryland. Okay. Trial started today. I saw last week that he they said the trial was going to be starting, but I didn't even consider that Maryland doesn't. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Melanie. Melanie says, OMG, this dude is back again. I still have PTSD from his first trial, right? I think we all do. We all do. But he's back again. He's back for round 2 of wanting to represent himself. It's not going to happen, period. It's not going to happen. He's never going to go. He's never going to get an appeal. I don't see that ever happening.
Mr. Brooks, do you believe that despite some of the challenges that you described, or at least stated about access to research, that you'll be able to overcome that if you are representing yourself?
Grounds.
I mean, like I said, it's going to be difficult, but there are conversations that I'm sure can be had to aid me along the way. But I mean, I have to be honest and say that it will be very difficult.
But do you understand that's the risk you willingly take if you want to be your own attorney and proceed pro se?
It's a risk. It's a risk regardless whether I was in Wisconsin or not. It's just going to be, the question was based on where I'm currently housed, which is more difficult than if I was still housed in Wisconsin.
I understand what you're saying. I'm aware, but do you acknowledge, sir, that that is a risk that you willingly take by asking if I approve the motion to withdraw and you appear as your own, you proceed as your own attorney? You understand that?
Yes.
All right. And again, I'm not trying to be nitpicky here. I'm trying to make a record, and I believe it goes to the dangers and disadvantages of being a pro se appellate litigant who is serving.
Skylab, I think that we have come to the conclusion that he's lost some teeth on top. He's kept his mouth covered the entire time.
Multiple consecutive
Really good
life
to see you, Skylab.
sentences meaning you're in custody, further complicated by the fact that you're serving those out of state and you don't apparently have the same access to resources as you would in Wisconsin. Do you disagree with anything that I just said?
No.
I want you to be aware, sir, that you have the right to counsel on direct appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about that?
No.
As you know, Attorney Covey was appointed by the State Public Defender's Office, meaning at the government's expense, to investigate and review your appellate options. And that the Public Defender's Office, through that letter that I read to you, has advised they will not appoint successor counsel under really any circumstances. Do you understand that?
Mm. He don't know what that means.
You want me to restate that?
No, I said yes.
Oh, I'm
didn't
sorry, I
hear
didn't hear you. You covered your mouth, so I couldn't even see your mouth moving. All right, you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that for me, sir?
No.
The right to counsel in this circumstance, and I'm referring to not only 809.30, but the Wisconsin Constitution, Article 1, Section 21, includes the right to a direct appeal, the right to assistance of counsel for the appeal, and includes such thing as the right to opt for a no merit report and abandon an appeal, essentially. Do you understand all of those things?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. The right to counsel, however, does not include the right to appointed counsel of your choosing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
It also does not include the right to insist that your appellate attorney pursue issues which he in his professional judgment choose not to advance. Do you understand that?
Yes.
In other words, if the only dispute, let's say, is over.
Shoot, 100%, Melanie. I would too. There is no way I would lose my ever loving mind. I would be up there throwing things at him. I would throw things at him. I would be like, the amount of patience that she had. I know that a lot of people were like, oh, she's letting him just run the roost. And she did. I got annoyed with her very much at times when she would let him come in and out of go into the other courtroom, then come back, and then go back out, and then bring him back in. And she had the patience of Job. The patience of Job. And I don't see how she did it. I do not see how she did it. She never raised her voice to him. She talked stern with him a handful of times, but she never like yelled at him. Can you imagine this guy going in front of the judge? That's what I'm saying. He does not deserve this lady. I know. He don't. That's why I call her Judge Saint, because she has the patience of a saint. Yep. If you ever notice in the first trial, she took her gavel away from her podium. I did not notice that. She probably did because she was scared to death to get mad and slang. I would have picked it up and slung it 10 times a day, minimum. Like everybody in the courtroom would be going, dodging, because I would lose my mind. Judge Gull. Oh, yeah. 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 Mm. Mm. And I would have had to have corrected him every time that he would have said, hold on, what was it that he would say all the time? Substain. Substain. God help me, Lord Jesus. I can't. I just want to poke him right in the eye holes.
Strategy and you change your mind later on, that's in that circumstance.
And I'm not a violent person. I'm the least violent person on the face of the planet. But that dude just,
SPD will likely not reappoint. I mean, they've said that in their letter. You can change your mind, you can have remorse, regret. You could try to find your own retained attorney, and if that doesn't work out, that once this court grants the motion to withdraw, they will not appoint successor counsel. Do you understand that?
Yes, and
Are you trying to say you want to throw hammers at him, Rosebud, or are you saying that he's dumber than a bag of hammers? Because, I mean, both fit.
to be clear, there was no disputes between me and Attorney Covey. So there was no strategy disputes. There was nothing of the sort.
Sir, I know from presiding over a previous hearing related to the waiver of attorney that we spent a fair amount of time going through your background. And I just want to confirm a few things with you. You can read, write.
Oh, here we go. She's going to the read and write. Can you read? And remember how offended he got when she asked him that the last time? Oh my God, he got so offended.
And understand the English language.
Yes.
You completed high school through the 11th grade and obtained an HSED. Is that also true?
GED.
A GED. All right, thank you. Are you currently taking any medications that would interfere with your ability to understand what is going on?
Not currently, no.
All right, do you have any medical issues that would interfere with your ability to understand what's going on today?
No.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs today?
No.
It is also true that throughout the trial in this case, you represented yourself.
Yes, that's true.
Is there anything about this court hearing thus far that you have not understood?
No.
Are you asking this court to allow Attorney Covey to withdraw as your
Yes,
attorney of
Brenda.
record?
Yes.
If you change your mind, I want to confirm once again that you are aware the Public Defender's Office will not appoint successor counsel.
Yes.
Are you aware that if you can't hire or retain an attorney
Mary
on your
Lou.
own, the Public Defender's Office will not appoint successor counsel?
Yes.
Do you understand, sir, that you will be responsible for all aspects of your post-conviction litigation and appeal, including compliance with all court rules and procedures?
Yes.
Anyone make any threats or force you in any way to waive your right to an attorney in this case?
No.
Anyone make any promises to you in exchange for your waiver of right to an attorney?
No.
Do you believe you're making the decision to waive your right to an attorney freely, voluntarily, and intelligently?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to talk to Attorney Covey regarding your request that he withdraw?
No.
Do you further understand you may need to file motions in the Court of Appeals seeking an extension of time. Given the most recent extension goes to June 3 of 2025.
Yes, I'm aware. I didn't know it was that soon, but yes, I do understand that.
Judge, may I jump in for 1 second?
You may.
Thank you. And just for the record, we have sent Mr. Brooks copies of all of our extension motions and the Court of Appeals decisions. What I will do for Mr. Brooks is I'll send him again that my most recent extension motion that he can use as a template. And I'll include a closing letter with the instructions as to how to file that and to use a pre-appeal case number, some of the basic procedural issues that might help him understand the difference between a post-conviction motion and going straight to the Court of Appeals. Is, from my experience, the Court of Appeals is pretty lenient in giving at least several extension motions to pro se defendants.
I love you.
At some point, they'll put some harsher deadlines on. It's a gray area, but I'm very, very confident that he'll have more time than June 3rd if he makes a proper request to have more time. It might take a couple of weeks for us just to get at those files to him. We've been working on it.
Mr. Brooks, do you understand that if the court permits Attorney Covey to withdraw today, you would be responsible to file the next extension request?
Yes.
And you are prepared to do that?
Well, once I receive the templates that Attorney Covey is going to send me, yes, I'll be ready to do that.
You understand he's not required to do that. He's just offering to do that, and it would not.
I know.
All right. You understand that's still something you are responsible for, whether he sends you that template or not.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want me to know or consider today, Mr. Brooks, as I consider the motion
Very
to
short
withdraw?
and snippy.
Not really. I think everything was pretty much covered. Just understanding should be there that, you know, again, this facility is a lot different. So there are different types of hurdles that I've already seen that I would have to jump over to be able to get things done. So I just want that to be stated for the record, that it's just a lot different, and there's a lot of.
I'm getting flashbacks right now. When he said for the record, I'm getting some like flashbacks. Yeah, the attorney does seem to be a good guy. Like, he really wants to do what he can do to help him before he can't help him anymore, you know? Missing teeth talk. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he's in a stinky room. I don't know. Skylab's comment killed me. Oh, please. He'll want a corner office and espresso next. Jeez. Boxes in the background are killing me. Is he in the garage, storage room? I don't know where he's at. Yeah, he will. He'll blame the the prison system for any delays. He will. He will.
Different procedure wise things here. So I'm still navigating that, as I haven't been here that long. So I'm still learning as I go. So that's it.
And you're willing to take on your own case with that difficulty and those challenges related to the institution?
At this time, yes.
So you could see he has
Attorney Colby,
bottom
anything
teeth.
you think I've overlooked here today as it relates to this motion?
Judge, I'm very satisfied with the colloquy. I think just to make a record, I have just one other issue. If I may ask Mr. Brooks a quick question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Brooks, I know you talked about that there are some difficulties. I just want to make sure Are you still allowed to have access to your legal files?
So the legal files is something that I haven't been explained. I didn't know that there was conversations about the whole uh, flash file thing. I haven't even heard anything about that. I really don't know how. Somebody maybe here can explain to me how that will work. So I'm kind of like trying to figure it out myself, actually.
Attorney Covey, it's my understanding, based on what you said, I mean, you believe the institution will accept the external hard drives, obviously any paper that you send through regular mail, just not banker boxes or large boxes full of materials.
Yes. So if I were to send them a 40-page packet of materials with appellate rules of procedure and extension notes and templates, I think any facility would allow that to be processed through, so long as I don't have clips or staples. As for, but they balked. My initial email, I don't have this memorized. I don't want to make a false statement, but my initial recollection when I first contacted that prison facility was to say that we were going to send them the files. I was told they would accept the file, but then when I stated, or when staff stated that it would be 5 bankers boxes, they put the brakes on that. And then there was some correspondence between their legal staff and my legal staff as to the best way to do this. We'll likely be buying some terabyte hard drives to put the materials on that to send to him. I don't know how much access you'll have to the library. I know in Wisconsin, you can go in almost every prison facility, unless you're in some kind of segregated status for a fight, for example, with another inmate, that you can make reservations to go to a computer library to review your legal documents. I also know that the time is quite heavily rationed. He's not going to have 8 hours at a time to look at these documents. So that will be a challenge for him.
I was just going to say that too. There's no law library, which I've never seen a jail or a prison without a law library. So I don't know.
Okay, y'all know I'm going to correct him. It's not library. There's 2 R's in that word. Darrell, like there's 2 R's in your name. There's 2 R's in the word library. Donnie says, I can't imagine that he is the first inmate to request legal papers. Not advocating, just saying. True. Yeah, this is your choice. Yeah. You can do the hardship thing, oh, everything's so hard, woe is me. Or, yes, then how about you keep this nice lawyer that's trying to help you? There you go, Tracy. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Morgana, right? Dude, that's why you keep the attorney. Yes. Yeah. I hate that. Library. I hear a lot of people say that and it drives me crazy too. But I'm a stickler for, yeah. Some things drive me crazy. It's like nails on a chalkboard, Can't see him following through. I don't know. Right, don't do things that land you in prison then. Lord have mercy.
Know how that's gonna work.
Do you have access to anything through a computer or online to access research material?
I have access to look at I believe it's Westlaw, and those are tablet based. but even
Right.
that is challenging.
I use a tablet-based Lexis. It's a similar platform. It can be cumbersome unless you know how to switch to the natural language
Okay,
search
Donnie,
engine
have a
and
great
how to
night,
limit the
honey.
jurisdictions and what you're looking at. But I think it's similar to what you had when you were in Waukesha, is that not?
No, Waukesha had Nexus Lexus, or however you say it, Lexus Nexus, or
Oh,
which is
they're very similar. If you figured out Lexus, you can figure out Westlaw. In my humble opinion.
Judge, if I may add one thing.
Go ahead.
Mr. Brooks, I know that without going into the substance, I recall about a 2-hour meeting when we went over a large amount of case law together. What I'm happy to do is I can send you those copies of those cases that we discussed.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. District Attorney Basie, is there anything the state wants me to consider or any additional information from the state today? All right, then, as I indicated earlier, and I'll just go through some of the law that pertains to this issue in making my decision. A person convicted in Wisconsin of committing a crime has a constitutionally guaranteed right to appeal his or her conviction to the appellate courts. That's directly from the Wisconsin Constitution, Article 1, Section 21, and case law State versus Perry, 136, Wisconsin 2nd, 92, a 1987 case. The right to an appeal includes the right that the appeal be a meaningful one. An indigent defendant is constitutionally entitled to the appointment of counsel at public expense for the purpose of prosecuting his or her one and only appeal as of right from a criminal conviction. And I'm citing to or from State versus Thornton, and that again is 2002 Wisconsin Appellate 294. And that court was citing to the U.S. Supreme Court and Douglas versus California, 372 U.S. 353 from 1963. There's no dispute here today that Mr. Brooks is indigent. This court has noted previously, I've dealt with this issue with Mr. Brooks previously prior to trial, but a criminal defendant may waive his or her right to counsel in criminal trial court proceedings, provided the record reflects that the waiver is knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily made, and that the defendant is competent to proceed pro se. That's a citation to State versus Klessig. Appellate or post-conviction counsel appointed by the state public defender may move to withdraw from representation of a client, and in determining the motion, the court shall consider whether the defendant waives the right to counsel, and that's Wisconsin Statute Rule 809.30 sub 4 sub C. As I indicated earlier, at the writing of Thornton, no Wisconsin appellate opinions address the requirements for effecting a valid waiver of appellate counsel. Thornton relied heavily on Oman versus McCoutry, which was, although a Wisconsin case at that point in time, it was before the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals. The citation for that is 130 F 3rd 809 from 1997. I did review that case as well. And from that case, the Thornton court stated and found that before a court may conclude that a criminal defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his or her right to counsel on direct appeal, it must satisfy itself that the defendant is aware, one, of the florist's rights, which I've talked about, that's the right to an appeal, to the assistance of counsel for the appeal, and to opt for a no merit report that was briefly mentioned previously. 2, the dangers and disadvantages of proceeding pro se, which this court has, I think, exhaustively gone through with Mr. Brooks. And 3, of the possibility that if appointed counsel is permitted to withdraw, successor counsel may not be appointed to represent the defendant in the appeal. We know from the letter from the State Public Defender's Office, they will not appoint successor counsel, and that's a citation to document 690, filed February 26 of 2025. This court is satisfied that Mr. Brooks is freely, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving his right to appellate counsel. He confirmed many of the same requirements, if you will, that I went through with him at the time of his waiver back on September 28th of 2022. I just want to, I'm not going to read the entire excerpt into the record, but I am looking at the transcript, which is document 580 from that hearing, pages 75 through like 77. The court makes some findings that I believe are confirmed here today, and that's, he said today he had a GED that may have been referenced as an HSED. I think they're very similar. Nonetheless, Mr. Brooks has a high school equivalency diploma or a general education diploma. He's been able to communicate very clearly with not only counsel, but with the court. He's done that efficiently and effectively. He did not have questions for the court today. Frankly, this procedure went much more smoothly than the procedure and the questioning and answers back in September of 2022. And so I'm just going to rely and incorporate herein by reference many of the findings or all of the findings I made back then, because nothing has been presented to this court that would dissuade it otherwise, that he's intelligent, he understands the dangers and disadvantages of proceeding on his own. He's made the request. He now knows the SPD's position. He indicated it doesn't change his mind. We've discussed many of the disadvantages and potential pitfalls of proceeding on his own. He's in an out-of-state facility. He does not have the same access as he does in Wisconsin. We have some wonderful offers by Attorney Covey to send him additional information. He's aware he needs to file for an extension because the current deadline in the Court of Appeals is June 3 of 2025. So I have met, and through the colloquy here today, the requirements of the Thornton case, and I'm satisfied that he's doing so again freely, voluntarily, and intelligently, and with an understanding of really the dangers and disadvantages and of his rights to an appeal and to appellate counsel. And for all of those reasons, the court will grant Attorney Covey's motion to withdraw. And from here on forward, the court will consider Mr. Brooks a pro se litigant. We will be able to communicate directly with him. I would like an order. I don't recall if you sent a proposed order in, but if you would do that, Attorney Covey, I will certainly review that, sign it, and then we will send that on to Mr. Brooks.
I'll get that done before the end of the day.
Thank you. Mr. Brooks, anything else from you today? Attorney Covey?
Judge, I will make a request. Generally, after once I'm allowed to withdraw, I'm cut off from the e-filing. I would request that I have the opportunity to send Mr. Brooks all of these materials, that I can file a letter with the court saying that we have done so, make a record of that. And then at that point, perhaps I can be cut off from the e-file if the court so desires. If there is some kind of issue where the prison won't accept anything, for example, then we would be able to address that. I just want to make sure that he gets his materials before I truly end my representation on this case.
You're asking that I delay the approval until you've been able to pull everything off from the court file that you currently have access through as an e-filer.
I guess so. You can sign the order at any time. I don't, and oftentimes I'm kept on the e-filing system even after I've been withdrawn. It's just kind of a quirk of the e-filing system. So we can sign the order at any single time, but I would, as a friend or as a courtesy to the court, I could still draft an update letter letting the court know that these materials got sent out. I'm not trying to complicate it.
That's okay. My clerk is advising me that we can delay removing you even though I signed the order of discharge.
Thank you, Judge.
Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, anything else from the state today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, everyone. That does conclude the hearing today. For purposes of our live stream, we just not turn it off for about 30 seconds or a minute because there's a delay in the broadcast, and we want to make sure everyone gets there
Thank you.
to the end. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Judge.
There
everyone.
we have it.
Good luck to you, Mr. Brooks.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
Lord, Lord, Lord.
I know. It's sketchy.
Everybody have a great afternoon. Thank you so much.
You can shut it off. You're good.
All right. All right, now we're going to go watch some Taylor Show Business. Okay. You all that have watched this, let me know if this is the right view. It's like 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Is this the right one?
Mr. Business is now down in the jail. She's appearing by Zoom in the jail. The last time we report, there was a commotion. She had yelled, stood up. She was then physically detained.
Oh, wait. Is that after the fact? Was that after the fact? Let's see if this is it.
Moved out of the court and moved down to the jail. It appeared, I didn't see exactly what happened, but it appeared that she had tried to get at it, return. And so the court does now find that Ms. Business has waived her right to be present given the outburst. Are we prepared to proceed with the preliminary hearing?
I
Yes,
can't
Your
hear anything he's saying.
Your Honor, I'm requesting to withdraw at this point in time.
Questions tonight, via
Okay, this is obviously after the fact, right? Hold on. Okay, yeah, she's in a... Did you guys see this part where she came on via Zoom afterwards, I guess? Okay, that's afterwards then. Okay. Well, then let me go start the other one and then we'll go back to this one. Hold on a minute. Da-da-dun, da-dun, da-da-dun, da-dun. Was it only like 4 minutes and something? Because there's one here that's 4 minutes and 32 seconds. Da-da-dun, da-dun, da-da-dun, da-dun, da-da-dun, da-dun, da-da-dun, da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Okay. All right. So I found one here. It's 4 minutes and 30 some seconds long. I'm assuming this is the one. It's really short. Okay. I think this is the one. Let me share it. All right. Here we go. Woo! That look on her face, man. She is such a wretch. She is such a wretch. Wretched, wretched woman. That smirk on her. She's always got this like evil smirk on her face. Ay, ay, ay.
Good morning, Gordon, how are you?
We're proceeding that soon?
Yes. Good morning, Jalen, how are you?
I can't believe that she flips out again, man. She getting ready to do it, ain't she? Just seen her lean forward. And before she leaned forward, I saw her feet kind of like open up on the floor, like she spread her feet apart, like she was getting herself in a stance where she could easily stand up. God, this woman is cuckoo pants. Hold on, let me check the chat real quick. Yes, Tracy. Every single time. And put a stupid spit guard on her. That's why I know she belongs in Arkham Asylum. A taser on her feet. Jeez. She's working up to it, right? Here we go. And he's just sitting there all nonchalant. God. I'm nervous. Oh. She's definitely working up to it. Can you guys not hear it? Can you guys not hear it? Okay, you do. It didn't have sound for a long time, but now they've got the audio on, so. She just smiled and smirked real big. What was that about? Hold on, let me rewind it. You know, we'll watch this 2 or 3 times, right? Because I won't be able to help myself. Who's she smiling and smirking at right then? Watch her. Right here.
All right, the court will call 24 CF 1048, State of Wisconsin versus Taylor Shabusiness. Appearances.
Gordon Leach for the state.
Taylor Shabusiness is personally present. She is in custody with Attorney Curtis Jelka.
All right, this matter is set for a preliminary hearing today. Mr. Jelka, what's the status?
Your Honor, my understanding is we are proceeding.
All right, Mr. Leach.
Your Honor, I'm just checking in on the status of my officer. I expected her to be here, so, but I'm also having connectivity problems here. I might need to run upstairs and see if she may be upstairs. If I can have her.
Sure.
And Judge, it sounds like just one witness. We're asking for sequestration, but that may be a moot point.
All right.
It is one witness, Your Honor.
All right. We're off the record.
She so said WrestleMania. Oh my God. She said WrestleMania. You're right. She totally did. Oh my God. She's crazy, Vance. I think she did. I think she did. And then the attorney looked over at the state and went, like he knew. He's like not even surprised. Oh my God. She did say WrestleMania. Oh my God. Hold on. Okay. We got to watch this back. We got to watch this again. Hold on. Oh my God. Let me get it. Okay, right here.
Sequestration, but that may be a moot point.
All right.
It is one witness.
She looks. You see her? She looks over to the side like that, like she's watching to see where people. She's premeditated this. Like I said, she's got her stance ready. She's got her feet separated so she can stand up. Yeah. Go.
We're off the record.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, Skylab said, I thought she said Transylvania. She said WrestleMania. Oh my God.
Record.
Oh,
Sure.
oh
And
my
Judge, it
God.
sounds like just one witness. We're asking for sequestration, but that may be a moot point.
All right.
It is one witness, Your Honor.
Okay, at this time, don't even watch her. Watch the attorney. Watch the attorney.
We're off the record.
I can't with this heifer. Oh my God. I cannot. I swear to God, said WrestleMania. I swear to God, that's what she said.
It is one witness, Your Honor.
I mean, you could look at her mouth. You can see she says, like she goes, Watch. This is like money right here.
She may be upstairs.
Oh my God.
If I can have them.
Sure.
And Judge, it sounds like just one witness. We're asking for sequestration, but that may be a moot point.
All right.
It is one witness, Your Honor.
All right. All right.
That's the best thing I've seen in forever. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh yeah, you hear wrestle now? Yes. Yes. Like, what is her goal by doing that other than being completely out of her mind? It's not the first time she's done this. She has attacked a few. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes, Brenda, she was going after her lawyer. Yes. What does the captioning say? Does it say anything? Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Do I have closed captions? It says they're unavailable, but
It is one witness, Your Honor.
All right.
her hair goes flying when they knock her down, and her attorney's just
We're
like,
off the record. We're off the record.
okay. Now we're going to go over to after the fact. Jeez Louise, man. Oh, wild Samoan. I can't never say that right. Samoan. Reminds me of the I forget their names. Kalani and Kawani from 90 Day Fiance. Like, I've always pronounced it Samoan, right? But they don't pronounce it that way. They say it all fancy dancy. The judge is just like, okay, this heifer is gonna keep doing this. Yeah. They tackled that heifer for sure. Her hair went flying straight up in the air. If she didn't say WrestleMania, then she didn't say anything. You know that's what she said, and you know I'm going to clip that, and that is going to be that clip is going to have a permanent fixture on my channel. They do say it weird, Skylab, right? It's like Samoa. But they say it all fancy. I'm like, I like how they say it. I can't say it the way they do. And me, I'm just like plain old Samoa. But no, that's not how they say it. Yeah, please hit that thumbs up button. Thank you. I appreciate that, Morgana. Nice little reminder. All right, so I'm going to clip that and make that a permanent fixture here. Now, we're going to go back over here and finish watching this out. That's why we need a WrestleMania emoji. God. Dude. I'm surprised she didn't say Narnia. I don't know, man. I just know she's crazy pants.
For this hearing, State versus Hayes, 175 was set.
Point that.
Was Are we prepared to proceed with the preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm requesting to withdraw at this point in time.
Your request is denied. For this hearing, State versus Case 175 was second one. You can continue for this hearing, and then you can withdraw for that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state does call Detective Milan.
Do solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give in this matter before the court is truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Mrs. Mylan, if you want to state your name and spell your last, I'm sorry, Detective Mylan. If you want to state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Christina Milan. Christina is with a K. Milan is Meilahn.
Mr. Leach,
Detective Milan, where do you work?
I'm a detective with the City of Fond du Lac Police Department.
As part of your duties as a detective, do you on occasion review the reports of other officers?
I do.
And as well as, do you also review sworn complaints that are filed with the courts?
I do.
Okay, so the case that they're talking about is where she had attacked prison guards. So,
And are those complaints, what do they typically rely on?
They rely upon the reports of the officers that respond to different complaints or incidents within the City of Fond du Lac. They also rely upon witness statements, videos, any other evidence that is brought to the attention of the officers or investigators as they're putting together their case.
Now, do you know an officer, Lindsay Lukey?
I do.
And have you reviewed reports of Officer Lukey in the past?
I have.
And do you find that Officer Lukey is accurate and truthful in the reports that she makes?
I do.
Now, do you know whether Officer Lukey investigated an incident at the Cheetah Correctional Institution that occurred on July 24th, 2024?
I do.
And how do you know that?
I reviewed the criminal complaint for that matter.
And was that a sworn complaint by your agency?
Yes.
Whose report did that rely upon?
Officer Lukey's.
Thank you. Can you tell us who's involved in the incident on July 24th of 2020?
Objection, Your Honor.
oh, let's see.
Well, I know hearsay is admissible at preliminary hearings. I don't believe that there are any personal observations from Detective Milan involved, so she's in essence a conduit for hearsay and doesn't have any information of her own to benefit the court.
Mr. Leach.
Your Honor, as Attorney Jolko pointed out, the court can rely upon hearsay. Detective Milan has testified that she has reviewed the sworn complaint in this matter that does rely upon Officer Lukey. Detective Milan further has testified that Officer Lukey is reliable or trustworthy in the reports of the investigations that she reports upon. I believe that would give it sufficient reliability for purposes of the preliminary hearing today.
You can answer the question.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, thank you. Do you know who was identified as being involved in the incident that Officer Lukey reported on that occurred on July 24, 2024 at the Cheetah Correctional Institution?
Yes, it was an inmate at Cheetah Correctional Institute, which is located in the City of Fond du Lac, County of Fond du Lac, State of Wisconsin, by the name of Taylor Shabusiness.
All right, and are you familiar with Taylor Shabusiness at all?
Not from personal interactions. I have reviewed her photo spread through the Department of Corrections for inmates, which provides her physical appearance.
All right, do you find that reliable?
I do. I use it often.
And Can you, did you see Miss Business here in court at all today?
I did
All right, when was that?
earlier around 8:30 this morning.
All right, and do you see her or her represented in the courtroom today?
Look at the mug on her. Dude, I mean, she's like, good grief. God.
I did see her represented in the courtroom today.
All right, and do you see her now? And
Yes, she's on the video screen to my right.
And what is she generally wearing? You just described.
Orange jumpsuit.
Your Honor, I ask the record to reflect Detective Mylon has identified the defendant in this matter.
Mr. Governor.
Your Honor, no objection, subject to cross.
The record of photos.
Detective Mylon, what did Officer Lupke report occurred at Tichita on July 24th of 2024 involving Miss Your Business?
Taylor had indicated that there was a staple in her arm and a request was put in for a nurse to remove it. One of the correctional officers at Tichita, a female sergeant, was tasked with bringing Taylor down to the nurse's office so the nurse could remove that staple. While in the nurse's office, Taylor began giggling, and then a short time later, when the nurse was in the process of removing the staple with the tweezers, Taylor lunged initially at the nurse. Then the sergeant pushed the nurse out of the way and began to try to gain control of Taylor to get the nurse out of the way. And in the process of that, metal tray from the nurse's room was grabbed by Taylor. The correctional officer believes she was struck in the head by that, does not believe she was concussed, but then reported in the course of struggling to get Taylor under control, received bruising to her ribs and pain in her arm.
And did the, was it a sergeant, I believe you said?
A female sergeant, yes.
Thank you. Did the female sergeant, did she report having any pain from being hit in the head?
She reported having pain from the entire incident and did seek medical treatment for potential injuries.
And did the sergeant say whether she had consented to Miss Your Business injuring her in that fashion?
She indicated she did not consent to that occurring.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Governor.
Thank you. Officer, Detective, did you review the video in this case?
I did not.
So you're solely basing your testimony on the criminal complaint today, is that correct?
That is correct.
So, just to review, the moment prior to the alleged lunge, there were 3 people in the room? Is that your understanding?
From the criminal complaint, that is my understanding.
Okay. And are you familiar with Tichita, whether they have any process for identifying or making sure they have the right patient in the room at any given moment?
So what I want to know is he even going to try to act like she didn't lunge at this nurse when she literally just went like Randy Macho Man Savage? So oh my God. Oh my God. My head is busting. I have laughed so hard. Oh my God. She lunged like a tree squirrel on crack. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm not overly familiar with their procedures, but I have responded there for numerous incidents, and most inmates do have a number or a system for identifying them.
You don't know if Ms. Shabusiness was wearing any such identifier that day, correct?
I don't know that.
Okay. So the moment prior to what you described as a lunge, where were the parties positioned, if you know?
I can't say other than the nurse was in the process of taking the staple out at the time, so within close enough proximity to do that.
Okay. And just to take it a moment further, Ms. Shabusiness allegedly lunged at the nurse?
Lunged or caused some motion in which the sergeant was concerned for the nurse's safety.
Okay. And then did the sergeant
I can't.
effectively
I
intercept
can't
her?
not laugh when he says allegedly. Oh my god. I keep rewinding it. Oh my god. Like, I don't know how many times we watched it. That was the best entertainment on a Friday night.
Or did she actually make contact with the nurse, if you know?
Oh my god.
I know the nurse was asked if she was hurt. I'm not sure if it was direct contact, incidental contact, but there was questions of whether the nurse was injured.
Now, the person described as the victim in the complaint, that would have been the guard? Is that
I don't know,
correct?
Morgana.
The female sergeant, yes.
Okay. And she indicated the number of injuries, including pain in her head, but short of a concussion, bruised ribs, and a hurt arm. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did she attribute how her ribs had been bruised or her arm had been hurt?
It was not stated in the criminal complaint if she mentioned that.
Okay. But the head injury, I guess, would be related to a tray hitting her?
It was inferred that, yes.
Okay. You don't know anything about the specifics of that tray, correct?
I don't know any specifics other than the nursing trays that are used by nurses.
Okay. Was there any exclamation or sound
I'll have
that
to send her a
Ms.
clip.
Shabusiness made before she allegedly lunged?
The only thing that was discussed was like some giggling or some laughing that preceded that, the exact timing of that.
I don't know. I noticed next to Taylor on the screen was someone else that was there via Zoom, and it looked like they had a coffee sign, like they're sitting at a kitchen table or somewhere, and it said coffee on it, and you could see like curtains. I wonder if that is the I wonder if that person is the victim, the guard. But I don't know that. I don't know that it is. I just that was my first thought, was that was probably who it was. I thought at first this was going to be the guard, but obviously it's not. Full, fully expecting a heifer what from Kathy on this, right? So good. Yeah, the judge said he can withdraw after this. Well, I think what his words were, we'll talk about it after this. But he wouldn't allow him to withdraw for today because he wanted to get through today's, hearing. Oh, yeah, that's true. Nurse, not a guard. Right. Yep, it was a nurse. But it says there, prison guard attack case, and I thought she did attack a guard, too. I don't know.
Proceeding was not outlined in the criminal complaint.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you identified Ms. Shabusiness as the defendant earlier today, correct?
Yes,
You have no way of identifying her other than the complaint as the person present in the room at the prison, though, correct? You didn't see any video, you weren't there?
I wasn't there, I didn't see that. The sergeant identified her and the nurse identified her from previous contacts.
Okay. Thank you, that's all I have.
Any reader?
It could have been both, like a situation of both.
Mr. Leach, any other witnesses or evidence?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Jelka, any witnesses or evidence?
No,
Because you know that they would have had a guard in there with her,
Your
along
Honor,
with the nurse.
Without argument, the state asked for finding.
Mr. Jelka.
the judge would just briefly argue the identification. Detective Milan identified Ms. Shabusiness based on booking photos. Doesn't have any personal knowledge of who was present in the room at Rashida, didn't even see the video, so I would move to dismiss, the argument being the identification was inadequate at this time.
The court will find probable cause that the felony was committed and was likely committed by Ms. Shabusiness. The case will be found to.
Judge Nails.
Mr. Leach, do you have any information?
I do, Your Honor. I'm providing a copy to Attorney Joka and to the court.
Mr. Jelka, subject to local tenure, local substitution, do you want to proceed with an arraignment?
Your Honor, that was my understanding for today. I would defer to Ms. Shabusiness if she still wishes to continue with that today.
Ms. Shabusiness, do you want to proceed to an arraignment today?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have received the information. The charges appear to be identical to the criminal complaint. Would waive its formal reading and subject to 10 days to decide whether to substitute would enter not guilty pleas.
Not guilty, please enter. This matter will be scheduled moving forward. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Jelka, anything else?
No, thank you.
Please adjourn. Thank you.
Y'all, that chick is something else. Something else. Wow. That was crazy pants. That was crazy pants. I'm glad we watched it. That was mega, mega, mega Friday night entertainment, man. WrestleMania. Yeah. Sorry. Macho Man Randy Savage. I loved Randy Savage. And I also loved Roddy Piper. I think that was his name. He always wore the kilt. Loved him when I was little. But I've never been a big fan of wrestling. I just always thought it was cool whenever I was little because, you know, my dad didn't really watch it, but getting ready for you, brother. So funny. Oh, Lord. All right. Are you guys, who in here is ready for Monday? Because Monday is Lori Vallow Daybell. Pro se. Who here is ready for that? Wonder if she's going to have an opening statement. Is she going to have an opening statement? Tell me who here in the chat is ready for it. Oh my God, I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Akasha says, what? Oh, yes. I'm ready, said Tracy. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. Oh, no. Mondays in general just suck. But this Monday won't be so sucky because we get to watch that heifer. Oh, Rosebud, she's going to bring every dramatics that she can. Yeah. And she's going to use lots of big words. Lots of big lawyery words. Mm-hmm. She will. She will. She will. Mm-mm-mm. It just blows my mind, though, that Alex Cox is also dead. So, which reminds me, I need to look up, let me write that down. We've watched it once before here on the channel, but I want to find it again. Hold on, let me get my little sticky notes so that I can remind myself. Always something there to remind me. Okay. The prayer from Chad. All right. The prayer from Chad. I want to find that. We've watched that a couple of times, probably, I'm sure, here. I know at least once. But I want to look up that prayer so we can go over that again and just think about it from the perspective of, did Alex know? Is that what this prayer was? A prayer for him departing this world and into the next? Do they ever get a jury for Karen Reed? I don't know how many they've got chosen now. How many? Does anybody know? As of today, like how many jurors they've got picked? Because I've not been watching any of it. I've not watched any of it. I'm just not as invested, at least not right now. I'm all on, like, all eyes are on Lori. And, oh, wow. How many are they wanting to get all together with alternates? Tracy said they're still working on the jury. Last I heard was 10. I did pop in over there earlier today, and Bev was putting me to sleep. Just, and her bangs need cut, you guys. Bev, your bangs need cut, girl. You need to go cut your bangs. You need to go cut your bangs, Bev. Like, they need to be up here over your eyebrows. This is where they need to be. Like there, like, that's where they need to be. Not way down here where you're having to constantly go. That's annoying. And it's not cute. Ween Baby said, I can't get into Karen Reed. Well, I was the first time around. I mean, not like super, super hardcore, but yeah, I watched it, This time, though, I'm like, meh, I just don't know if I want to do it again. But I'm sure I will watch it. Or at least watch the good testimony from, They have 10 and want 16. Okay. So far, 5 men and 5 women. Ween Baby said, I wish if someone unalived that man, they should just come out with it already. Well, of course they're not going to. They're not going to. Tracy said, I'm not hardcore. It's going to be completely different this time. I've heard that they're not letting Colin's testimony in. Why? Why did they why are they throwing his testimony out or not going to let him testify? What was their reason for that? Akasha said, I heard 10 as well. They want 16. Okay. Well, they got a few more to go then. 6 more. And yeah, why is Collins not going to be allowed to testify? I don't understand. You guys, I think that collagen that I've been taking is working. And the only reason I say that, and I wanted it to work for my skin, not my nails. I mean, I don't care if it works for my nails, but that's not why I was taking it. I was taking the collagen for my skin. But I've worn press-on nails for forever. And I have to be honest and tell you that when I wear press-on nails, these are just plain old press-ons, right? When I wear them, you never can see the like new growth. You know what I mean? Like when you wear acrylics, you know how after a week or so you start seeing where that needs to be filled in, right? Well, I can see that. And so that tells me my nail, it's the first time I can ever think of seeing that much new growth with press on nails, because they're like gone after a week and a half. So I think that collagen I'm taking is making my nails grow, which I ain't complaining. Let me see. Rosebud said Colin Albert should testify. Remember the excuse about the bruising in his hands? Yes. Yeah. Tracy said I hadn't heard that they aren't calling Colin. I heard it, but I don't know where I heard it. Akasha said because they want to name Colin as a third-party culprit, and Bev said no. Wow. Wow. Rosebud said, and I want more information about the car that the plow saw exactly where the body was found. Well, I don't know. I want to see more, like, I just can't believe that there's no part of me that believes that he wouldn't have more damage to his body based on what happened. Like, I tried and tried. You can ask the girls that's been here forever. I tried and tried and tried to come up with any scenario I could come up with to make it make sense, right? I even was like, well, maybe he's got dog bites on his arms because the dog got loose and saw he needed help and tried to drag him to the house for help, you know? And then I had the whole thing in my head of, well, maybe it was a situation where he gets out of the car and he shuts the door and slips on the ice and falls down on his knees. And she looks around and don't see him, because hello, he's on his knees, and she accidentally slides and hits him or something, and don't even know that she did it. You know what I'm saying? But it still don't make sense. It don't come together. No. Mm-mm. Bev said no testimony or anything about Colin. Why? The whole investigation was completely a mess, and that alone to a juror should say you haven't proven anything. Right. I mean, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me do something real quick. Hold on. Here you go. Need some evidence. Collector cups. Crazy. Right. But it still doesn't make sense, and we will never know actually what happened. It could have just been the dog. The dog knocked him down, and that was the head injury. I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is there was nothing there that showed, like, I don't know. It fully could have been a freak accident, but she didn't hit him with a car. No bruises anywhere. No, I mean, if he was hit by a car, he did have the bruises around his eyes, but that's why I'm saying, could it have been a situation where he had fallen on the ice and was on his knees and boom, but there would have been way more damage than just them eyeballs. Rosebud says, in my opinion, it turned into a fight night and it went too far. Yeah. That's my thoughts on it too. It's my thoughts on it too. I just feel like there was way too much covering up going on. And then, what's his face? The one that said he wasn't on the phone all night, that it was apparently a butt dial. Well, that makes sense. I mean, they've apparently got photos or something of you sitting in a parking lot with the phone up to your ear. I guess they could call it a butt dial because you look like a butt face. I don't know. Anyway. And didn't they say she was going 24 miles per hour in reverse? Yeah, something like that. It was, I don't know if it was 24, but it was something similar to that. No damage to his legs or torso. Everything was rehomed on purpose. Jen McCabe related to the Weeks guy who snitched on the FBI agent Connolly during the whole Whitey Bulger thing. And Brennan defended Whitey. Oh, I don't know. See, I don't know about any of that. I'm like in the dark about all that. Rakasha said, but I feel like he would still have had bruises. Yeah, the red Solo cup. No Ziploc bags. Oh, God. All right, you guys. It is 8:35. I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, I remember Akasha about the black eyes could have been from the head injury. I remember QB mentioned that a lot. She said it's very common to happen with a head injury because it's like swelling causes the poof, of the eyes, and not that it necessarily had anything to do with him being hit in the eyes. You could have been hit in the back of the head that can cause the blood pooling and stuff in his eyes. Um, all right. Prosecution team. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right, you guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go get some supper. Some supper. But I will be back on Monday. Oh yay, go watch a movie. Aw, Ween baby, love you too. I think that's the first time you've ever said you loved us. Aw. Y'all have a great weekend too, and I'm ready for Monday. I looked earlier and it looks like Law and Crime or Court TV already has a stream set up for I think it said 2 p.m. Eastern. So are they not supposed to start till 11 a.m. on Monday on the East Coast? Or no? Yeah. Yeah, that would be right. 11. Yeah. Um, Either way, I will have a stream ready. We'll probably start in real time on Monday. Because I don't want to miss these opening statements. I want to hear the opening statements in real time. So I'll be keeping my eye out for it, and I'll plan to start when they start. As far as ending time, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet because, like I said, I think Tracy, I think I heard that there was gonna be a small delay, but I don't know how big. But they're like 2 hours behind, and it's a 30-minute. Well, they're 3 hours behind for me. I'm on the East Coast. So I heard that, Tracy. If you hadn't seen, a juror from her last trial is now on her defense team. How? That's crazy. I'd heard that, but I haven't seen anything. Like I said, I haven't been watching much about it. But that's crazy pants. That's unheard of. But because they're on West Coast time, say they end at 5 p.m., that would be 8 p.m. for me, and I'm not going to be able to stream till 8 p.m. every night. I'm just not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to probably have to either do split days or I don't know. Just do half and half each day. Yeah. Yeah. I hate doing that though because it just messes my mind up. They're 3 hours behind you also, Tracy. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. It'll be, like I said, a pretty flexible situation because, trying to do a West Coast trial on East Coast time is not super easy, but finally my time zone, said Margaret. That's okay, Rosebud, if you can't. Hopefully you can pop in whenever you're able to, off and on. Hopefully you can. But I'm going to get out of here, and I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Stay safe if it's crazy weather where you're at. If you're getting a lot of flooding, stay your butts home, please. Just keep your butts at home. Yeah. Go do like Tracy said she was doing. Go watch a movie. Just go do that all weekend, okay? You got your work headphones ready. Yeah, it is rough for as late as it goes. Because, see, my kiddo, she's in kindergarten, and I have to have her in the bed, like, starting heading that way by 7 o'clock, So. Oh, okay. I did say like 3 hours. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys on Monday. Okay. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button before you leave. And if you are new and you've wandered over this way, please, you're invited to hit that subscribe button and hang around with us. Click the notification bell if you do subscribe, though, because YouTube's a tricky little machine. And you want to make sure to click the all button, okay? So you get notified every time, hopefully. Sometimes they're stingy with their notifications, though. But also, if you're watching this on the replay, I would love for you to put a hashtag replay in the comment section down below. So, ringside seat for the Lori Daybell Guilty Pants trial. Yes. All right. I'll see you guys back on Monday. Love you. Mean it. Bye.